Good morning, Trojan hockey fans. Back at the Kennedy Rec Center in Trenton. Your Trojans play Sparta this morning. Coming off a couple big wins Wednesday with Gaylord, but last week was West we beat, Gaylord, and then Midland yesterday. Looking to go home with another win here. Minute 20 left in the warm-ups. Kimbrell started yesterday, and if the trend follows, we'll have Schlegel in goal today. All right, 5 seconds left in the warm-ups here. We'll get a hockey game underway. Schlegel will start out net for this game. Looks like Peters, Fogelman, Weaver, Soper, and Burkholder. Peters goes to the middle, takes the face off. Won by Sparta. Sparta through the neutral zone. Gets stood up by Xander Fogelman. Fogelman sends it up. Sparta picks it back up in the neutral zone. Shot towards Schlegel. Stopped. He puts a glove on it. We get a whistle. 16:47 first period. Not keeping track of shots again. Face off. Goes to Burkholder. Burkholder reverses to Soap. Soap, no time, goes up. Weaver tried to chip it up, but missed. Puck comes back, centering. Sparta shoots, they score. Over Schlegel's shoulder with a quick shot. So 16:32, first period. Sparta up by 1 early. That's not good. A couple of bad turnovers in our end down there. And Sparta able to get the puck off to Schlegel's left. And Sparta buries one. Very excited about that quick goal. All right, let's see if the boys can wake up here. Get that one back quick. Face off. Won by Drew Davidson. Goes around to White. White sends it up into the neutral zone. Beatty stops the breakout. He goes toward the net, makes a move. Tipped off his stick. It comes around. Evan Blazak goes to Beatty. Beatty tried to hit Burley and missed. Beatty comes right back in. Beatty centering pass. Picked up by Sparta. They're going to bring it out. White's got to back up. Centering pass. White able to get between and angle off the man. He didn't get a good shot. Sparta now centering pass. Goes back to the point. Blazak not able to get there. Sparta dumps it right back in. Sparta definitely with some energy after that goal. Blazak able to get it, reach in this time. He's got one man to beat. He comes back, he's looking, he makes a move. Goes deep into the corner. Sparta sends it around. Conaway keeps it in. Shot low. Off the goalie's stick, hits the boards. Sparta gonna bring it out through the neutral zone now. They high flip it in. Klusterman will go back to get that. Klusterman sends it to Conaway. Conaway up to Blake Davidson. Blake Davidson gets hit right in the back in the numbers in front of the linesman. No call. Trojans keep it in. Sparta goes around the outside. File with pressure. Comes back to Klusterman. Klusterman steps in. He tried to hit Rodenroth. Rodenroth sends it deep. Conaway will race all the way around on the boards. Keeps it in with a skate. Conaway stays deep. And now Sparta able to get it out. Klusterman at the red line. Rodenroth's going to pick that up. He's looking. He backs. Goes high. File. Gets picked. Conaway sends it around to Klusterman. Klusterman up the boards, not out. Klusterman's going to get it again. He looks. He backs up, gives it to File. File, pass intercepted. The defenseman read that all the way. Conaway pins his man on the boards. File goes to the middle. This time he hits Rodenroth. Sparta dumps it right back in. Conaway comes up the boards. He hits his man, gets it out. Sparta brings it right back in. They dump it. Conaway lifts the stick, hard off the glass, not out. Now, second effort, Weaver hits File. File brings it out. File centers. Fogelman just off, hit the post. Second effort, right across the crease. Weaver's got it now. He turns toward the middle. Weaver with a shot, bounces wide of the post. Sparta sends it around. Weaver tries to get there. Past Burkholder now. Soper goes back. Sparta, oh, if they'd have touched the puck, they'd have had too many men. I don't know if Weaver did that intentionally or not, but the whole Sparta bench was changing. And when we dumped it, if Sparta would have touched it, they had about 8 guys on the ice. Burkholder crushes his man right by the Traverse City bench. Beatty picks it up. Beatty looks. He goes up to Fogelman. Fogelman dumps it. Beatty picks it back up. Beatty, shot, low, goalie. Able to save that one. It bounced off his pads, but it ended up under his glove. We get a whistle with 12:49 in the first period. Trojans down by 1. Drew Davidson will take this face off. It comes around. This goes all the way. No icing, as I believe that was passed by us. Centering pass. Sparta shot wide of the net. Another attempt. Schlegel bouncing everywhere. He didn't know where the puck was. We can't let Sparta have 4 chances like that. Nothing good is going to come of that play. So we'll get Humphreys, Lehtinen, Collier, Harv, and Kloosterman out there. So we keep it in the Sparta end. Lehtinen gets upended and we get a whistle. So the face-off just outside the Sparta end in the neutral zone. Won by Traverse City. Fogelman goes to the middle. He passes up to Weaver. Weaver shot off the stick, hits the glass high. Back to Harv. Harv shoots it in wide of the net, goes behind the goal line. Sparta high off the glass, comes to Kloosterman. Weaver sent it back. Kloosterman with a hit. Weaver with a hit. Fogelman has 3 guys, beats 2 of them. Man number 3 able to stop him, but not out. Now Sparta's going to come up the boards with it. They get it out. Kloosterman goes back up the boards. Hit Peters. Fogelman just not able to reach it. Sparta moving the puck well. Shot from the point into the glove of Schlegel. He hangs on. We get a whistle. 11:26. First period. Trojans down by 2. So we'll get a face-off in the Trojan end. And Rodenroth comes out with that. Blake Davidson rushes the net. File plants himself right in front of the net. Sparta sends it around. Burkholder, centering pass, shot, File, missed the net, diving goalie. How did he stop that? The goalie was upside down backward and managed to keep that puck out of the net. So the face-off in the Sparta end, controlled by Traverse City. Back to the point, Burkholder shot, hits the goalie. He puts a glove on it and hangs on. We'll do it again, same spot. So Beatty will take this face, actually that was File, took the face off, back to Burkholder. Burkholder dumps it deep, goes behind the net and around. Soper not able to keep that in. Burkholder picks it up in our end. Burkholder behind the net, sends it up to File, off File's stick. File, send it up to Rodenroth. Rodenroth goes across the middle and gives away the puck. Burkholder will try it again up the boards. Back to Rodenroth. Rodenroth out this time. And Burkholder hits Soap on my side. Soper sends it up. Hits File. File comes in, top of the circle. Checks up. Soper banging his stick. File tried to send it toward the middle. White picks that puck up in the neutral zone, bangs it toward the goalie. And the other 4 Traverse City players change up. White tried to hit Fogelman. Fogelman goes back to Burley. And Sparta comes away with it. 2-on-1 and can't get the shot off. Burley in there fighting with White. White goes up the middle, not out. Sparta dumps it right back in. Burley pins his man on the boards. It comes all the way back to the point. Sparta with a long shot, wide of the net. Off the boards, and now Xander Fogelman to get it out. 2-on-1 with Graham Peters. Fogelman trying to go to Peters. It ends up rolling toward the side of the net. Weaver picks it up. Weaver dumps it deep. Holy mackerel, Fogelman got crushed. It comes back, and Braden White with a good poke, knocks the puck off, picks up the attempted dump in, and he will go off Sparta after a shot on net, clears the zone. Conaway comes back, holds his man off after he dumps it in. Klusterman goes to the middle. Sparta off sides. They check up. Conaway's got it. He looks. He backs up, gets tripped. And Sparta comes up with the board with it, and Beatty takes a hit to get it out. And it looks like Evan Blazak just jumped the line as Drew Davidson brought that in. That'll draw a whistle. And we got Beatty, Drew Davison, Evan Blazak, Calvin Klusterman, and Cash Conaway out there right now. Face off, won by Davidson. Davidson to Conaway. Conaway to Klusterman. Klusterman dumps it in deep on the side of the net. Blazak races in, forces a turnover. Centering pass. Here comes, oh, Conaway thought twice. He jumped up, but with two of the Sparta players coming back, Conaway thought better. And Evan Blazak not able to clear that. Centering pass toward Schlegel. Shot. Hits Schlegel. He gloves it and hangs on. 8-10. First period. Trojans down by 2. So the face-off, controlled by the Trojans. Burkholder makes it to the line. He gets it up to Beatty. The linesman said it was touched by Beatty, no icing. And Blazak races in. He picks that up, centering pass, steered aside right to a Sparta player. Sparta tries to chip it out. Beatty saw a bad hit in the middle coming. Dumped it. Burkholder behind our net now, reverses it to Blazak. Blazak. Soap goes hard around this way. Carter Humphreys not able to control the puck. Burkholder's got to chase it back down. Burkholder behind the net. Hit Blazak. Blazak hits Drew Davidson. Davidson sends it in as soon as he crosses the red line. Carter Humphreys battles behind the goal line while we change. Shot toward the net, steered aside by the goalie. Back to the point, kept in by Soap. And we score! Oh, what a great keep in by Soper! I don't even, he was right on line. The other team was yelling offsides. We didn't stop playing, and it looks like Soper scored the goal. He runs that in, fires it toward the net. He was due. Excelente. So it was 7:03 in the first period. We get one of the 2 goals we need to tie this game up. All right, Graham Peters will take this face off. Trojans now pick it up through the neutral zone, dump it. Sparta sends it right back. And they dump it deep. Burley makes a move. He can't control the puck. Sparta looking to center. They go back toward the point. Weaver able to get that puck pass. Gets the lineman to jump out of the way. Centering pass. Shot. Oh, the goalie with a toe kick save. By the skin of his teeth, he kept that one out. Pass back to the point. Off White sticking out, but White picks up the rebound. Sends it in deep. Graham Peters with a hit. Sends it to Weaver. Weaver gonna get a shot. Graham Peters drops the guy. Fogelman shoots, he scores! That's it, we tied it up. 6:15. 2 goals about a minute apart. All right, now the Trojans are waking up. Let's go Trojans. So Graham Peters got plowed in front of the net, but was able to control the puck and get that puck off to the side. Fogelman picked up the rebound and tipped that one over the goalie's shoulder and in. So 6:15, first period, tie game 2-2. The momentum swing definitely with the Trojans right now. All right, face off. Sparta had it, but they gave it up. Fogelman back out there. He dumps it deep. We line change. Sparta up the boards, just out. And it comes to Harv. Harv off the board with a steady clear. Sparta to the middle in the neutral zone. They bring it in. Shot. Schlegel gloves it down. Evan Blazak reverses it right to one of the Sparta players. Net. Blocked by Calvin Klusterman. Klusterman's going to hit Beatty. Off Beatty's foot. Beatty's got a turn. He goes hard up the boards. Drew Davidson just off his stick. Sparta dumps it right back in. Klusterman to Harv. Harv. Sparta clogging up the middle really well. Back to Schlegel. Schlegel lets it go to Klusterman. Klusterman reverses it to Beatty. Beatty comes up the boards and out. Sparta dumps it right back in. Klusterman again loses the puck. He gets run off of it. Good pressure by Sparta here. Harv's got to step in and help out his partner. It goes towards Schlegel and he wisely puts a glove on it and hangs on. 4:44 left, first period. Tie hockey game. Goals about a minute apart by the Trojans in the second half of the first. File. Face-off goes right into linesman. Rodenroth on his man. We force it outside. File with a good poke. Shot high in the air. Behind the net. Sparta looks. They go back to the point. File races in to help. Takes his man down. I'm looking for an arm. I didn't see one. Puck and Ross there to help him. Sparta comes away with the puck. Sparta up the boards. Long. Burkholder picks it up. Oh! Tipped off Burkholder's stick. Stripped of the puck. It's dumped in. Sparta's going to send it back to the point. Blake Davidson beats the puck to the man. Soper steps up with Graham Peters. Soper with a shot. Low! Off the goalie's stick, up in the air. He gloves it out of the air, hangs on, and we'll get a whistle with 3:34 in the first period. Tie hockey game 2-2. All right, White and Burley back. Peters, Fogelman, and Weaver up. Peters takes his own face off behind the net, sends it to the point. Burley with a shot into the goalie's glove. He hangs on. We'll get another whistle. Nice play by Graham Peters. Tipped the puck forward, went around the Sparta center, picked up his own pass, went behind the net, sent it to the point. Gave Ben Burley a pretty good shot there. 3:25, first period. Linesman warning Blake Weaver about jumping early. Face off to the point. Burley looks. Burley shot low off the goalie's stick, high into the net. We'll get another face off, same spot. All right, Graham Peters take another one. Graham Peters wins it again. This one goes to Weaver. Weaver with a shot, just missed the net. Weaver races around, checks his man off the puck. 3 Trojans battle, get it in deep. Sparta comes around. Weaver, oh, Weaver gets flattened. He took a, Blake Weaver is no tiny boy. He got smoked and he goes to the bench. Sparta getting very physical after we scored a couple of quick goals. Beatty's got it at the line now, not able to hold it in. Sparta comes down 1-on-3. Burley presses a play, forces a hit. Soper picks it up. He sends it into the neutral zone, and the Trojans will change. Long pass. Beatty dumps it in. Sparta behind their own net, checks up. They come up the far side, or near side by me. Kloosterman drives it right back in. We check up. Shot all the way down off Conaway's foot, no icing. Kloosterman's got to get there. He sends it to Conaway. Conaway looks. Conaway takes a hit on the boards, but makes the play. Up to Drew Davidson. Drew Davidson's got Blazak with him. He centers to Blazak. Blazak just didn't get a shot on a bouncing puck, and now Sparta able to control it. They go far side. Kloosterman and Conaway back up. Sparta comes in on side, centering pass. Sparta was 3-on-2. Conaway and Kloosterman each took a man. Third man in the slot got the shot off. Conaway crushes his man, sends the puck up to Beatty, and Beatty chips it out. We're going for a wholesale line change. We got to get back. Sparta has to dump it in as Soper raced across. Burkholder hits Soper. Soper goes up. And now Sparta with a shot, blocked by Weaver. Weaver up the boards, right to the point. Point dumps it right back in. Burkholder's going to go off the board. Sparta holds on to that one. Shot. Schlegel flailing, got an arm up to save that, and now Soper goes high off the glass, out. This will be just to the net, no icing, or causes an icing. Wow, Schlegel with a great save there late in the first to keep the game tied at 2. 26.8 seconds left. And Graham Peters will take this face off. Face off, controlled by Sparta. Back to the point, sent in. Sparta trying to set it up with 20 seconds left. Chipped out by, we finally get it out, third effort. Sparta's offsides, they check up. Braden White looks, he goes far side. He hit Burley. Burley sent it up. They battle for it. 4 seconds left. We're happy just to put it into the neutral zone. And Fogelman gets a shot off. The buzzer goes. Goalie gloves it down. All right, I'm going to go try to get a hold of Coach, and I'll be back for the second. Yeah. Given a little bit of a slow start to the first period there. They got 2 quick ones on us. I think it was minute 7, minute 6. We got 2 goals roughly a minute apart. Momentum really shifted. What do you see coming in the second period, Coach?
Yeah, we got a obviously much better start first shift of the second period here, and just a little bit quicker on our rotations on the forecheck. We caused some turnovers there, and they weren't pretty goals by any means, but when you forecheck hard and cause turnovers, those are the good things happen. Yeah, the option, you kind of create your own luck that way. So we got to stay on top of them on the forecheck, and then we got to do a better job of back checking inside the dots and getting into our coverage in the D zone.
They're moving the puck really quick, really well, and pressuring our guys hard. How's that affecting us?
Yeah, they're a good skating team, and we knew that coming in from the scouting reports that we got that they're not they don't play heavy, but they work hard and they're a good skating team, and so they forced us into some bad turnovers. I think it's more just we've got to have some poise and a little bit more patience with the puck. Going through the middle of our zone is not good, and we got away with it a couple of times, and we didn't on others, and
They're reading the east-west.
it's just something we got to stay away from. We got to use the boards and use the glass, and just stay away from the middle of the ice.
Coach, go have some words with the boys. I'll see you between the second. I'm feeling good about this one too.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. All right, linesman and the referee get back on the ice. Our boys start heading out of the locker room. Again, a very exciting first period. Sparta got up by a couple early on. And then we were able to get one around 7 and another one around 6 minutes left in the first to tie this game up at 2. So the ice has been zammed. The clock, horn goes, everybody gets on the ice. And we will start the second period. 17 minutes on the clock. Sparta, I think, got their first 2 goals, what, in the first minute and a half?
Yeah, it was right in the beginning.
Maybe minute 40? So it looks like Burkholder and Soper back. Face off. Controlled by Sparta. Fogelman jumps in and keeps Sparta from coming in clean. Now they bring it in. Burkholder with a couple of big checks, takes his man off the puck. Sparta pressures and gets it back. They turn toward the middle. They're going to get a shot from the circle on Schlegel. Second bounce, third bounce. And now Sparta with another one. Schlegel knocks that one aside. Sparta player goes down. Burkholder goes off the glass and out. No icing on this? No ice. Didn't hit the Sparta point man, so I thought they might call it, but I guess not. And a little bit of a melee there. Graham Peters or Weaver got the shot off on the Sparta goalie. He hangs on. We get a whistle. 16-15. Second period tie contest. Burley and White back right now. Drew Davidson to take the face off. Face off. Controlled by the Trojans. Burley stepped in to get that deep. Beatty looking. He goes back to the point. Burley shot into the legs of the Sparta player. Sparta comes down one-on-one with White. They shoot wide of the net. Burley takes a cross check in the back in front of his own net. Sparta from the point, shot wide of the net. I believe that was off of White. White gets smoked on the boards, but gets it off. Evan Blazak dumps it in. And this one goes out of play over the net and rolls all the way down the rink and into the corner. So that'll get us a whistle and a stop and play. Referee goes and gets another puck. And Drew Davidson will take this face off with Conaway and Klusterman back. Face off, controlled by Sparta. They go around. Conaway steps up. They shoot it inside of him. We get an icing call. And we'll get another face off. In the Sparta end to the left of the goalie as I look at him. Near side by me. Klusterman Conaway back. Humphreys, File, and Rodenroth out there. File takes his face off. Linesman gets everybody out of the circle, drops the puck. Humphrey shot toward the net, up in the air, off the goalie's stick. File races to it. He goes to the point, kept in by Klusterman. Klusterman with a shot off the goalie's stick. File sends it to the middle. Nobody there. Now Humphreys comes in. Second effort, shot toward the net wide. File will pick this up. A lot of pressure by the Trojans here. Rodenroth centers it. They come up the middle. This will go all the way down and should be an icing if it makes the line. It does. Puck will come all the way back, and we will get a wholesale line change on that icing call. Good pressure there by the Trojans. File with a chance. Klusterman with a chance. All right, Graham Peters will take this face off. Weaver and Fogelman out there with him. Puck sent around. Fogelman picks it up. He's got it behind the goal line. He comes up, cuts toward the middle. Sends it to Graham Peters. Graham Peters with a shot off the goalie's stick. Fogelman again dumps it deep. Peters gets hammered on the boards and sent off the puck. Puck kept in by Fogelman. Second effort out by Sparta. Sparta makes his own. Weaver with a great poke. Racing in. Back check. Able to get that off. Sparta goes to the point. Shot. Missed the net. Sparta deep centering pass. Behind the net. Picked up by Graham Peters. Graham Peters comes up. Not out. Sparta dumps it back in. Sparta first one to the puck. They send it back into the corner. Graham Peters checked off the puck. Soper sends it around to Burkholder. Burkholder keeps it from going deep with a foot. Now Sparta on the point. Shot toward the net. Steered aside by Jackson Soper. Shot toward the net. Rebound comes to Fogelman. He runs it out through the neutral zone. He just dumps it in. He was just the far side of the red line when he dumped it. And it rolled all the way to the line for an icing call. So Carter Schlegel's grandparents watching in Florida right now. Thanks for tuning in. Cash's grandparents watching from Surprise, Arizona. Thanks for tuning in. John and Annette in Ludington. puck out. Beatty, second effort, gets the puck in the zone, gives Blazak time to come back and help him out. Oh, White tried to hold it into the line, just came off his stick. Now Blazak's got it, he dumps it deep, goalie steers it into the corner. Sparta rims it around, White steps up, Drew Davidson backed him up, it goes to Beatty, Beatty to Burley, Burley out. And Drew Davidson sends it back to White. White dumps it in on the goalie. Goalie steers it into the corner. Sparta not able to clear on the first try. Now they give it up. Beatty looking to center. He does shot. Evan Blazak straight up in the air. Second effort. And the goalie ends up with it in his glove. What a play there. Beatty hit Evan Blazak. Blazak got a rifle off. It just caught the goalie's equipment off the puck. Kept in at the point by Harv. Off the puck. Kept in at the point by Harv. Harv dumps it deep. Nice play, Harv. Off the high glass. Out this time. Klusterman's got it. He reverses it to Blake Davidson. Blake Davidson dumps it deep. All the way behind the net. Sparta looking here. They come up the point to the middle. They come in 2-on-2 against Harv and Klusterman. Shot toward the net. Schlegel puts a glove on it. He missed. Klusterman's got to get it out. He's not able, but it goes to Harv. Harv gets pressured, and Sparta with a lot of pressure here keeps it in. Deep in the corner, it goes behind the net. Now, Blake Davidson has plenty of time. He gets a good look. He goes off the boards, far side to or near side by me to Klusterman. Klusterman backspins. He looks now. He protects the puck, dumps it in deep. Goalie, I think he caught the goalie off guard there. It went off his glove and may have surprised him. Sparta sends it all the way down to our end, and they blow the whistle on an icing call against Sparta. So that'll bring the face-off close to the Trojan bench in the Sparta end to the right of the goalie. Face-off controlled by the Trojans. Fogelman got blasted before he got the shot off. Very physical team here, Sparta. All right, Weaver and Fogelman battle for that puck. It came back to Burkholder. He dumped it into the corner. And Sparta clears. This should be an ice also. It is. And we get another whistle. So the face-off will be same spot, just off the Trojan bench. In the Sparta end to the right of the goalie. Face-off won by Sparta this time. They go around the outside. Burkholder steps up. Weaver backed him up. Burkholder with the pressure. Puck came right to Weaver. He dumped it deep. Behind the net, we battle for it. Sparta gets to it, but a nice, better not give us 3 pops at it. And that was either 2 or 3. But we are ahead by 1 in the period. Sparta not happy about that goal, chirping at the ref. Face off won by Travers. Burley to White, White to Burley, Burley to White, out. It's gonna come down. Graham Peters gets to that puck. It goes straight up in the air. Hops over Burley's stick. White's got to race back. He sends it around. Weaver shoots, he scores! Fogelman took Fogelman's got to be careful. He's going to get an unsportsman for taunting the goalie. Beats his man around. He goes behind the net. They go to the point. Klusterman beats his man around. He goes behind the net. They go to the point. Klusterman steps to the middle. He hands it back to Davison. Davison gonna turn, shoot! Off a stick into the netting. Great puck movement here by the Trojans. We have woke up in the second. So Conaway and Klusterman back. Beatty, Davison, And Blazak up front. Davison will take this face off. Face off. Goes behind the Sparta goal line. They send it around. Blazak, first man there. Blazak dumps it deep again. Davison's got to race in. A lot of pressure here. We force the puck off. Conaway picks it up with a foot. It goes past him. Back to Klusterman. Klusterman recovers the puck. He sends it to Blazak. Blazak hit Davison. Davison tried to go through some feet and a skate. Stop that from happening. Klusterman reverses it to Conaway. Conaway to Humphreys. Humphreys and Conaway in the quarter battle. Actually, that was Blazak. Blazak comes away with it. Klusterman turns it over behind our goal line. Shot toward Carter Schlegel. Bounces around. That was 2 pops. Conaway pops it up the boards. Beatty sends it to the point. Now we'll get it out. Beatty. Oh, he tried to pass to Davison, who was racing away. And he hit one of the Sparta players. Puck fell down. They dumped it in. Schlegel holds on. We get a whistle and a wholesale line change. 8:31. Second period. Trojans up by 2. 2 a minute apart in the first. 2 quickies here in the second, about halfway through. File takes his face off. It goes to Soper. Soper. Humphreys breaks his stick and has to go to the bench. Josh's dad, my cameraman, just shook his head. That's a $300 day. Puck comes out. Weaver's got it. Moves it quick over to Rodenroth. Rodenroth tips it deep. File comes around, puts a check and a half on his man. Sparta brings it back. 1-on-2. They dump it deep. Allows some more players. Schlegel settles that down. Holy mackerel. Sparta player, first one to it. Sent it from behind the net. Through the crease. Shot towards Schlegel. Steered into the corner. Burkholder blocks that shot. Sparta able to keep it in. They go to the deep. This one comes out. No icing as it was passed by a Sparta player. Weaver goes for a line change. File pressures. Puck comes out. Soper dumps it right back in. We check up. We're able to keep it out into the air. This will come to Soper. Soper goes hard off the glass. This will be an icing. Soper got a bad bounce on that. I thought he had the right angle that it wouldn't make it to the goal line, but it came off the glass. It might have hit a stanchion. Burley and White back. Beatty, Blazak, and Drew Davison out there. Face off. Goes over to Beatty. Beatty's going to get there. Beatty carries it out of the zone. He goes up. Blazak got a stick on it, but this should be an ice. It is. Sparta dumped it in halfway between the blue line and between their blue line and the red line. Draws an icing whistle. So Beatty hit Blazak with that. Blazak tipped it this side of the red line, but it went right into a Sparta skate, and we could not control. All right, face off. Beatty's got it. He goes to the point. Burley off his stick. Sparta's away. Centering pass made. Shot. They missed the net. Wow, Beatty takes one to the head. Shot. Burley plows his man. Sparta with a lot of pressure right here. They shoot. There's 3 pops. Still loose. Far side of the net. Who was that? White dove in there, made a hit. It's pitchforked out, and Beatty was going to be first to the puck, but he couldn't get to it before it crossed the goal line. We'll get an icing. We'll take it. We needed a change there. Schlegel with a couple of ginormous saves to keep this game a 2-goal deficit against Sparta. still on the puck. He's looking, he centers. Oh, just over Harv's stick. Oh, Harv wishes he had that one back. I'm sure of it. It bounced right over his stick. Not a lot he could do. Klusterman avoids the check. Fogelman goes up the boards. 2 guys on him. He's still fighting for it. He takes a check to the back, leaves it for Graham Peters. Peters hit Weaver. Weaver races with Klusterman. Klusterman tips it in. He decides to stay back. Hard off the boards. Kept in by Fogelman. Back to Harvey. Harvey hits Klusterman. Calvin dumps it right on net. Goalie sends it into the corner. Xander, first one there. He sends it to Davidson. Davidson goes around behind the goal line. Sparta able to pick it up. Second effort by Beatty. He's going to get a shot on net. He does off the goalie's pads. Here comes Fogelman. He sends it back to Beatty. Beatty dumps it in the corner. Fogelman goes for a line change. Davison goes to the point. Soper back here. Soper goes far side shot. One-timer. Misses the net or hit the defenseman and went wide. I think that one hit the defenseman and went wide because Blazak got a pretty good pop on that. And the trajectory coming off his stick and where the puck hit the boards didn't make sense to me. So I think that one hit the defenseman and went wide of the net. Good pressure by the Trojans late in the second here, up by 2, 4-2. Linesman gets everybody out. And we get a shot. Sparta gets it out. Beatty with a good back check there, takes it off a stick. Drew Davidson picks it up. He goes to Soper. Soper went to Burkholder. Burkholder sent it in deep off a stick. No icing. 4 minutes left. We got to check up. Beatty didn't realize he was offside. He thought it was held in at the line. But Burkholder gloved that one down. It was just outside of the zone. And Burkholder dumped it back in. All right, so we're going to get File, Rodenroth, and Blake Davidson with Burley and White. Sparta clears. White gets a stick on it. File just back passes it right to the Sparta player, and Sparta gets it in our zone. That's the turnovers in the neutral zone I think Coach was talking about. All right, Rodenroth sends it toward the middle. We get it out. File races in. He's offsides. He gets onside. Sparta able to tip it off. They're going to get a break here. Braden White plays that well, forces a bad pass, and with 3:40 left, Rodenroth's going to bring it through the neutral zone, one-on-one. Rodenroth with a move, but he pulled it a little too hard. He gets pinned on the boards. And Sparta getting really physical right now. I don't think we've had a penalty this game. They're letting the boys play. It's been fairly clean, but it's getting pretty chippy now. All right, Sparta tries to clear that puck. They can't. White drives it deep. File ends up with it. Sparta comes back. Weaver presses his man, doesn't allow him to come in. Sparta's changing. Ben Burley looks. He goes up the boards. Weaver tips it. It comes out right to Peters. Peters to Fogelman. Fogelman off his stick. Fogelman comes out of the zone. Fogelman hits Conaway. Conaway puts it in deep. Sparta comes around. Klusterman intercepts the breakout. Sends it to Weaver. Weaver to Peters. Peters hits Fogelman. Fogelman's in. Fogelman with a shot. Low off the kick of the goalie. Weaver knocks it down. He gets the shot. Fogelman with a rebound. Conaway able to keep it in right at the line. He dumps it deep. Nice line by Conaway there. He had to race back. Caught that right outside the blue line. Kept it in. Dumped it deep. All right. Fogelman's got it. He hits Peters. Peters tried to go far side to Conaway, who was sneaking in. Conaway gloves it down. Conaway tips it at the glass. Conaway gets pounded. No call there. Come on! Conaway got hit in the head twice. both refs watching, no call. I don't know what you got to do to get a penalty in this game. I guess we're not calling any. Fogelman gets run to the boards. He leaves the puck behind the goal line. He tries to glove it down. Beatty, lots of pressure. He's going to be able to get the puck into the corner. Drew Davidson races in, lifts the stick, forces a player to back up. It's going to come up to Kluseman. Kluseman races and keeps it in. Beatty's got it. He's checked off the puck. He dumps it in right on the goalie. Out of the goalie's glove and into his pads. He hangs on. We get a whistle. 1:17 left, second period. Trojans up by 2. Late in the second. Pretty good period for the Trojans here with a couple of early goals. Second one was around the half. All right, Drew Davidson takes face off. He gets a shot toward the net. It goes wide. Soper races in. Evan Blazak covers him. Soper goes around the net. Soper looks. He's going to drop it for Burkholder, who gets stood up. Burkholder's got to get back now. Puck is missed by Sparta. Soper off the glass and out. Sparta dumps it right back in. They check up. Burkholder's got it. He goes hard up the glass off Blazak, not out. And Sparta keeps it in, but it goes to Drew Davidson, who just chips it out. Sparta's offside. They check up. And we send it far side, just out of Beatty's reach. Beatty will go to the bench. 29 seconds left in the second period. Trojans up by 2. We get an icing call. That'll put the face off to the right of Schlegel as I look at him. Near side by me here. And Graham Peters takes his face off. Fogelman was pitchforked off the puck. It went around behind the net. Now Fogelman chips it up the boards. 20 seconds left. We send it up. That was Fogelman tried to hit Graham Peters. Weaver looks. He goes up. White jumps out of the way of a check that could have been a knee. And at the buzzer, Weaver tried to hit Peters. It went off Peters' stick wide of the net. So at the end of 2, 4-2 in favor of the Trojans. I'm going to go talk to Coach. Coach Gibbons, I thought that was a much better second period. We started out hot, got a couple of goals in there, one early, one in the middle of the period. How do you see us holding on in the third?
I mean, just like I said, it's all in the forecheck, right? If you're playing heavy and you're on top of them and being responsible to keep a guy high so you're not giving up odd man rushes, I mean, it's a good recipe for success. And it's like when we get into trouble where they're coming out with possession, it's typically because our high forwards gotten caught below the hash marks and we have no help coming back, on our decam pinch then, right? They've got to have high support before they can pinch. But if we're responsible and we stay within the structure, I mean, it was a good period, no doubt about that. Good, solid period for us.
You were talking after the first period about some of the turnovers that are unnecessary. I saw a couple in that period too.
What do we got to do to stop that? The blind passes.
It's just that part's mental, right? That's got nothing to do with skill. It's got nothing to do with anything else. It's just being responsible. And when you've got the puck in a dangerous situation, which they all know what that is because we talk about it constantly, you got to keep the puck wide. And if you don't have a white jersey that's open, then you got to make the safe play with the puck, which is typically off the high glass or off the boards.
Carter Schlegel coming up big a couple times in that second period. All over the ice. We let him get 3 pops at the one. He made a couple of incredible saves. Can he hold on in the third?
Well, we're going to need him to. I mean, hopefully we lock down this period and we just play, a lot of it in their zone, and we're not quite so aggressive, like I said, with that third forward wanting to get right on top of the blue paint. I tell them all the time that that's where the open ice is, and no better spot to get the puck in the slot than at the top of the circle. And we got to keep the pressure on the forecheck for sure, and we got to be responsible. We got to clear pucks to safe areas on the defensive zone and try and get out of here.
Coach, again, I appreciate your time. Up 4-2, looking good in the second. I can't wait to see the lockdown in the third.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
down there. She didn't get
All right, good point. All right, we are back for the start of the third. Quick talk with coach there. He wants to lock down the D and allow no shots here. I was informed between the second and third period that Graham Peters got his 100th point today. Congratulations, Graham. Pretty big milestone. All right, Graham Peters will take this face off. Face off, controlled by Sparta. Burkholder makes the red line, dumps it deep. Weaver's gonna pressure. Soper sends it toward the net, off a leg. Soper and Weaver battle for it. It comes to the middle. Fogelman makes a move. Fogelman turns. Puck rolls off his stick, picked up by Peters. Peters goes down. Oh no, that was Weaver. Fogelman pulls it through the forward's legs. He makes the zone, sends it toward the middle. It's loose, right on the edge. It comes out the other side. Holy cannoli, do we have a great chance right there. Graham Peters, centering pass. He just couldn't get to it. Burkholder raced in. And now Sparta will come out. Weaver went off. Soper's got it. Soper sends it up to Beatty. Beatty dumps it, takes a hit from big number 11 for Sparta. One of the Sparta players banging his stick, mad that his teammate didn't send it to him sooner. Holy mackerel, Evan Blazak got just slammed in front of the net, right in front of the referee without the puck. No call. Like I said, they're not calling anything. Shot through the crease. Blazak backhanded it, just missed the net. Beatty pulls it out. He shoots wide. Blazak will race in. He gets it behind the goal line. Shoots it toward the goalie in the crease. The goalie puts a stick on it. And Blazak taking a beating after the whistle. He got smoked on the side of the net by, again, big number 11 for Sparta. Blazak slow to get up. And we'll get a wholesale line change. Conaway and Klusterman back. Rodenroth. Shot! He scores! Goalie never saw it! Excellent play. Right off the face-off. Rodenroth on the top outside of the circle. File won that face-off right to Rodenroth. Rodenroth, all he did was settle it on his stick and rifle it. Goalie never moved. There was a ton of traffic in front of him. I saw the net pop and the puck bounce back out. And we've got a 5-2 game early in the third. Conaway knocks down the dump in. Now Sparta's second effort sends it to Schlegel. Schlegel to Klusterman. Klusterman and Conaway switch. Rodenroth gives that puck up at the circle. Conaway races in. He sends it around. Conaway makes it to the puck, and File drives the point man out. Klusterman's got it now. Klusterman backspins, comes across the red line. He dumps it deep. It's going to come out to Conaway. Conaway's got pressure on him. He dumps it back in. Comes out. Klusterman picks it up. He makes a move. Rodenroth comes across the blue line. We get 4 players change while Rodenroth eats some time. Far side pass. Dumped in and right into Schlegel's glove. He'll hang on. We get a whistle with 14-15 third period. Trojans up by 3. Face off. Won by Sparta. Fogelman races back. He sends it up. Fogelman's away. He shoots. He missed the net just by an inch. He picked the far side halfway up, and he just was outside the post. He had an opening. Weaver puts a check on the Sparta player, draws him off the puck. Burkholder pulls that one down. He loses it. Burkholder's second effort goes down, but he's able to slow the puck down, which allows Grant Peters to get to it. And Soap sent it toward the point. It's bounced back in. Suds has it now. Suds chips it up, not out. Sent toward Carter Schlegel. Shot. Missed the post by 4 feet. Soper hits Peters. Peters tried to hit Fogelman going, but it was gloved down by the player from Sparta, and now we dump it deep. We send it around. Davison able to pick that puck up and keep it in. Now White backs up. Blazak sends it around. We get it out. White takes a hit, but puts the puck in the neutral zone. We send it toward the net. Goalie puts a glove on it, hangs on, and we'll get a face-off to the right of the Sparta goalie. 12:30, third period. Trojans up by 3. Tied at the end of 1, 2 in the second, 1 here early in the third. White and Burley back. Drew Davidson will take the face-off with Beatty and Blazak. Face-off goes toward Blazak. Blazak takes another hit, but centers the puck. This one goes down for an icing. It makes the line, and Drew Davidson races back, gets the whistle. All right, face off to the right of the goalie, back to White. White shoots off a leg, bounces up to Davidson. He tried to get a shot, bounced over his stick. Sparta was cherry picking. Braden White broke up the long pass. Burley picks it up. Burley goes the length. He's gone from end to end. He's got it behind the goal line. He throws it in front. Oh, Evan Blazak hit the crossbar. Sparta gonna bring it out now. Beatty takes a hit, almost taken out by his own player, Blazak. Beatty makes a move. He breaks in. 2 guys on him. He can't get the shot off. The puck slides into the goalie, and he puts a glove on it. File and one of the Sparta players sharing niceties in the Sparta end. Linesman comes in and breaks that up. What do we call it? Oh yeah, chin music. A little bit of chin music there. All right. Kloosterman, Harv back, File on the face-off, Humphreys and Rodenroth. Face-off, goes back past Harv, out. Kloosterman should make it. He does. He goes behind the net, sends it back to Harv. Harv, with some time, puts it up the boards to Rodenroth. Rodenroth goes across Harv, dumps it in deep. Sparta player knocks it down. Harv forces him to the outside, allows Kloosterman to come in. Kloosterman hits a man. Sparta with a shot, they score. Schlegel stopped the original shot. It bounced out. The Sparta player took a shot. Schlegel got a glove. Part of his equipment hit it, but it went under his equipment and above his leg and into the back of the net. So with 11:14, third period, Trojans will be up by 2. So tied at 2 after the first. We got 2 in the second. Now both teams have 1 in the third. Burkholder sends it up at the red line in. Sparta picks it up. Weaver got dumped. Comes to center ice. Soper played his man. Burkholder fans on the dump out pass. Sparta, a little bit of momentum here. Trojans not able to get it out. Sparta shoots from the point. Hits somebody before it ever got to Schlegel. Bounced near side knee. And Graham Peters sends that one up to Fogelman. Fogelman knocks it down. Fogelman races up. Fogelman shoots! I think that went off the defenseman's stick just wide. And now Sparta comes back. Shot. Schlegel. Kick save. Sparta. Centering pass. Goes through. Fogelman gets it out. Beatty. Tipped up in the air. Sparta gloves it down. Brings it right back in. Shot from the point. Outside of the net and off of Schlegel's blocker. Burkholder hits Fogelman with a long pass. Fogelman shoots. He missed again. Fogelman with some great chances. I don't know if he needs to retape his stick. Normally, you give him 3 chances like that. He's getting 2 or 3. All right, Sparta going to bring it back in. Blazak forces the play. Burkholder high off the glass. Bounces just out. Beatty picks it up. Davison runs it in. Checks up at the point. Centering pass. Oh, what a great play to Blazak. Beatty checked up at the line. He threw one toward the net. Beatty picked it up, put it on his backhand, and shelved it over the goalie, sliding across to put us back up by 3 with 9:39 in the third period. So, 2 apiece in the first, 2 for the Trojans in the second, 2 for the Trojans in the third, and 1 for Sparta. Face off, back to Burley. Burley spins around, he goes up. Davison's stick slashed out of his hand, no call. Sparta brings it back. They shoot at Schlegel. Schlegel hangs on. And Sparta getting pretty chippy here. A late swing at Schlegel drew Ben Burley's attention. So White and Burley back. Grant Peters will take this face off. Fogelman and Weaver face off. Back behind the Trojan goal line. Centering pass up in the air. Fogelman's got it in the slot. He comes through the middle. He beats a man. Just tipped off his stick. Fogelman picks up his own. Must have went up into the netting when Fogelman and the player came together. And we get a whistle. So with 9:12 left in the third, Trojans up by 3, 6-3. Sparta wins the faceoff, but the Trojans beat them behind the goal line. Send it toward the middle. Fogelman, shot, blocked. Fogelman picks it up. He sends it to Peters. Peters goes back to Fogelman. Peters takes a late hit. White steps in. He shoots. Hits one of the Sparta players. Ben Burley took his man down. Sparta brings it in. They'll go for a change. We tip it out. And Sparta dumps it right back in. Graham Peters kicks it out. Graham Peters, first one to his own dumping. Too many men on the ice for Sparta there. They let it go. We played it right into their bench, and one of the players had not gotten off yet. Again, refs not calling anything. Drew Davidson behind the net, centers the puck. Evan Blazak battles for that. It comes out to Klusterman. Klusterman and Conaway back now. Klusterman leaves it in the middle of the ice. Conaway blocks it with his skate. Keeps Sparta from coming in. Drew Davidson dumps it up to Beatty. Beatty makes a move to the middle. Hits Blazak. Blazak shot. Defenseman sliding. Blocked that. Conaway in the middle. Picks up that puck. He dumps it deep. We check up. Sparta picks it up. Long pass to Klusterman. Got through him. File there to help out. It's going to go to the far side, and Blazak dumps it into the neutral zone. Beatty sends it across to Klusterman. Klusterman shoots off the defenseman. Defenseman blocking a lot of shots here for Sparta. Sparta dumps it all the way down. We'll get an icing with 7:28, third period. Trojans up by 3, 6-3. Sorry, I had to get a sip of my hot chocolate. Called 3 games in 3 days, and my throat's not in shape for this. All right, Sparta wins it, takes it behind their goal. They come across, get it out. Burkholder goes back through Soper's legs. He tried to glove that down. He fends his man off, holds it on the boards till he sees daylight. And now File picks it up, makes the neutral zone, brings it in. File hit, run with a shot. Goalie gloved it down, and before Blake Davison could get his stick on that, the goalie covers it up. We get a whistle. 7 minutes on the money left in the third. Trojans up by, and we've been pretty dominant since. Davison shot off of the defenseman's stick toward the net, steered aside. Fogelman behind the net, comes around. He tries to squeeze it in. He's playing with it behind the net. He went to Weaver. Weaver couldn't, the pass bounced over Weaver. Now Sparta brings it through the neutral zone and into our end. Soap picks it up. He gets run off the puck. Graham Peters races. We go back to the point, not out. Peters comes around my side. Puck stopped behind the net. Back to Peters. Peters goes up to Fogelman. Fogelman chips it up for Blake Weaver. Blake Weaver makes the turn. Shot over the net. Fogelman brings it out. Braden White dumps it right back in deep. The forwards will go for a line change. White and Burley back. White's got to go deep as they've got a Sparta player. Picks it up in the middle. Ben Burley tried to steer it aside. It bounced over his stick. Now Sparta able to get it behind our goal. Braden White picks it up. Burley smoked the Sparta player in front of our net. He's looking for retribution. That's big number 11, who's been very physical for Sparta. A little bit of a taste of his own medicine there. White goes back to Burley. Burley's got a little bit of time. He goes up the boards to Blazak. Got his stick under that. It goes into the netting and out, and we will get a face-off to the right of Schlegel and the Trojan end on that dump out. Conaway and Harv out there. Beatty hits Blazak. Blazak not able to make the zone. Conaway picks it up. Conaway takes a hit and a half, dumps it in deep, and then takes a hit. Conaway breaks up the inlet pass. Graham Peters, Conaway picks it up. He goes to Harv. Harv, nice outlet pass to Evan Blazak. Evan Blazak dumps it. Beatty gets there. Why are we offside? Beatty must have jumped the line before the puck made the line? I couldn't see the puck. It was right against the board. Shot from outside the blue line. Knocked down by Schlegel. Oh, Sparta's getting really chippy here. Harv just got molested behind our goal line. Regains his composure. Two guys can't get the puck from Harv. Conaway picks it up as it's dumped into the middle. He hit. There, Conaway hit Beatty in the neutral zone. Beatty with a check on his man. Harv gonna get it out through the neutral zone. Conaway and Harv will go for the change. Burkholder and Suds out there. Soper on D. Trojans control it in the Sparta end with 3:58, under 4 minutes left in this contest, up by 3. Long pass from Burkholder, made no mistake, raced in, made a couple moves, got the goalie to go down, and very serenely popped it over the goalie's shoulder with What? No. What?
I think it's hitting that.
Oh, I am?
Yeah.
No, I'm bumping the cable, so I got to stop doing that. Cameraman's going to punch me. All right, I got Burley and White back. Collier, Lechtinen, and Treadway up front. Collier picks it up. He goes behind the net. Trips over a skate dropped by one of the Sparta players. Holy mackerel. Treadway just getting destroyed. The refs aren't calling anything. White picks it up. Tries to pop it out at the line. Not able. Burley behind his own net. Goes back to White. White. No mistake this time. Tried to hit Collier. They said it was tipped. No icing. I love it. We send it. It's sent around. 2:40 left. Treadway takes the long pass. He's away. He shoots. Just a second too late. And defenseman, or one of the number 22 for Sparta, got a stick in there. Treadway's shot goes up into the net. We'll get a face-off to the right of the Sparta goalie. Conaway and Kloosterman back out there with Beatty, File, and Humphreys. Face-off. Back to Conaway. Conaway shot off a leg. Conaway gets beat. Shot. They beat Schlegel with the shot. Oh, Conaway's not happy about that one. He got the puck at the point. He shot it. It hit a body and went to the side right onto one of the Sparta players' sticks. And he got past Conaway. Kloosterman was coming back to. We have a 7-4 hockey game. Trojans up by 3, 2:30 left in the third. Soper off the boards, hits a Sparta player. Sparta dumps it deep. Off the boards, next to. Here comes Weaver. Weaver's got one man to beat. He makes a move. Back check, knocks it off his stick. Burkholder at the red line, dumps it right back in. We check up. 2 minutes left in the third period. Trojans up by 3. Shot not out by Sparta. Second effort goes out. Fogelman picks it up. He goes round the outside, avoids a check. It's dumped in. Sparta gets a shot. Soper will pick that up. He's got time. He hit Fogelman. Fogelman goes far side. Weaver able to get it. Tipped up. Just out of the reach of Fogelman. Sparta picks it up. Soper pushes his man outside. Shot toward the net. Net. Burkholder sends it all the way down. It goes off of one of the Sparta players. No icing. Drew Davidson beats a man down. He picks up the puck. He's looking. He backspins. He makes another move. He's going to dump it deep. Beatty and Blazak chase it down. Blazak takes a hit. 1:05 left in the third period. Back to the point. Burley runs it in. He slips out of a check, sends it toward the middle. Evan Blazak could not pull the trigger. He goes back to Burley. Burley falling. Pass White. This will go all the way to Schlegel, and he'll play it to White. White behind our net, checks up, goes to Drew Davidson. Davidson goes east-west, hits Beatty. Beatty dumps it in right at the red line. 40 seconds left in the contest. Trojans up by 3. Pretty good hockey game. All right, Burley holds it at the line. It goes past him. Braden White races down. He ties his man up. 25 seconds left. Evan Blazak goes to White. White back off a skate. He goes back to White. White goes up the boards. Beatty keeps it away from the defenseman who slid in off the point. 10 seconds. Round to Blazak. Out off of the Sparta stick. And Kasu Lechtinen, he's going to get a shot. He scores! That's Kasu's first goal. First high school goal, first goal of the season. Way to go, Kasu! Oh, I hope Becky's watching. Probably got David Lynn Harvey watching. Scott Harvey's here at the game. Congratulations, Kasu. Way to get that goal. And that'll bring the game to a close. We win 8-4 late in the third. What a game. Grant Peters, 100th point. Kasu Lehtinen gets his goal. Shake hands. Pretty tough game. Very physical. Sparta's got some very large players. All right, I'm going to sign off, and we're going to clean up. We got a 5-hour drive home, so no talking with Coach after this one. I'll get him before the first period of our next game. All right, signing off from Trenton, Michigan. We'll